everyone. My name is Jason. I'm here for Daily Dose of Hope Day 235. So I've been coming on for almost 235 days to give a daily dose of hope. What is a daily dose of hope? It is just that. It's just a daily dose of hope to help you to get into a hopeful place in these times that can be quite jarring. And so that's what a daily dose of hope is. Um, and so, yeah, I've been coming on for about 235 days, almost consecutively since around February to do this. I was guided to do this. And yeah, so nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. Daily Dose of Hope has three parts, a bit of a talk, a bit of a channeling, and a bit of a pocket of peace, which is a guided meditation. So today, thanks everyone for your well wishes yesterday. Made it through. I got my hope back. Thanks. Thank you for all your help. Um, yeah, yesterday was a rough one. My goodness, those people who were working on the other side of the coin were going overtime. They were working overtime, and very intense though. I think before I went to bed, it was just like I felt like this like hope, like just pressure on my chest kind of thing. But it's good. That's all good now. Michael, you say, howdy, Hope Man. All right, yeah, Hope Man. Hope Man with a pocket of peace. That's right. So, I've been reading this book about Lemuria, and I can't vouch for its authenticity, but I find it to be a really interesting read. And one of the things they're talking, the premise of the book, it was written in 1930, and the premise is that um, this group was approached by this man from the Far East. It's not far from me. I'm in it, but he was approached from someone from the Far East with some ancient Tibetan knowledge that was not translated into English at that time about the Lemurian race, and that a lot of that history is actually preserved, where as it isn't in the European history, but it's preserved in a lot of the Asian history. And according to the book, right? And they were talking about Lemurian culture. Lemuria was the Pacific Ocean, and that's what I got as well. That was where the continent was located, and that California and also Japan were part of it. They were the edges of it, and by the same token, Hawaii was also a big part of it as well, a high mountain. But the interesting part they were talking about was that, and this is what I wanted to bring up today, is that they had a protrusion in the middle of their head, and that was their third eye. But they all worked very, very hard on their third eye, and so it actually protruded a little bit from their foreheads. And I thought that was interesting. And so they would be, throughout their day, they would just kind of be walking, and then all of a sudden they would stop and just close their eyes, and they would connect and get information. And that's where they got most of their information. There was not this kind of logical kind of concept that we have today. They would just, it's like instead of Google, for example, they would go to the source, the real source. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because I always thought when you learn about like traditional medicines, and for example Chinese medicine, or not acupuncture, Ayurvedic medicine, and it's just like it's 5,000 years old, right? And they know all of these different herbs that can heal this and heal that. And the theory is just like, oh, they just tried a whole bunch of different things. They just tried it, and if it was poison, they died. But if they got the right thing, it's just like, yeah, I don't think so. Um, definitely don't think so. And that kind of explains it more. I think, yeah, they were just channeling information. They were getting information. The guides would say, use this plant to heal this, use this plant to do this plant is poisonous, just like we all can do, connecting with um, with our guides. I think there's no other way. I mean, 5,000 years ago, they just tried every plant, and yeah, these theories that we are taught in our history. It's just like, once you think about them just a tiny little bit, it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't think someone would go through that. After eating like 5, 6 different poisons, they would probably stop. I don't think anyone would continue. So it just doesn't make any sense. Um, But that explains how everything was created. They also, a lot of science is explained like it was a mistake. They just in the lab, and yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, right. I mean, there are a lot of mistakes with creativity. A lot of your mistakes become, the actual thing. But I think a lot of that are just, it's like bedtime stories for us, for sleepy children who don't want to really see what's really going on around us. I think that's a lot of what our history is. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Don't listen, or don't think too much about it. Yeah, no, no, this just happened this way. Electricity? Oh, yeah, a man with a kite. Yeah, in an electrical storm. Yeah, go to sleep. It's like, oh. And then, when you look at all those old pictures, I found a lot. I went to the library in my town here. I live in Japan. And, hey, Judy. Hey. I went to the library in my town, and they have old pictures of the town from 1800s, and I think it's mostly just the 1800s. In Japan, the funny thing is, before the 1800s, all the pictures are just lithographs, and they're just like, it's all cartoons, which is funny too. But I was looking into this one of the town that I live in, and one thing that I picked up on and I saw, and afterwards I kind of looked on YouTube, and I found people who were talking about this, and they explained it. But there were these um, electrical wires all over the place, and usually electrical wires now, like around like my town, there's just one. It's just like a one pole, and there's basically one line, and maybe things draped on it. But this was just like a whole bunch of different lines, like wooden poles, and they were called telegraph poles because everyone used the telegraph at that time. Yes. Bedtime stories. Everyone go to sleep, right? Um, so they had these telegraph towers all over the place, but no electricity, right? No, 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 no. Just telegraph powers, towers. So people were able to communicate all over the world using telegraph, but they didn't have light bulbs. I mean, come on, they were using candles. What do you, or what is it called? Whale tallow to, I don't know. A lot of that seems really interesting to me. And it's all in pictures as well. So the widespread use of telegraphs, I mean, it's possible, right? People used to use telegraphs. Um, but just, I don't know. It just seems, if they had that much knowledge, that you'd think that they would explore other things as well. But it just seems like one of those go to sleep, go to sleep. The wizard is behind the curtain. He's closing the curtain. Just go to sleep. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. And we are in the time where we're looking, right? We are in the time where we're pulling back the curtain, and we're seeing everything for what it is. Um, One thing I think is really funny. All right, I'm not going to go into that, but yeah. So, but anyway, we're looking behind the curtain, and yeah. So it's an interesting time that we're in, and yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Was just that, and I'm going to go into a channeling, and I'm going to see what they have to say for today, November 1st, 2024. We're almost into 2025. My goodness, and we're almost into the kind of some, I think there's going to be a little bit of craziness. Well, probably a lot of craziness, but hopefully not too much craziness going on in the next few days in America, as it has been. But yes, let me go into a channeling, and let's just see what they have to say. So, hope for November 1st, 2024. Here we go. Greetings. We're here. We are Mary Magdalene, and we're very happy to be here with all of you to share this time, with you. This precious, precious, precious time here on your planet. Because this time is about to change. The time on your planet will change very soon. And it won't be experienced in the way that you experience it now. And you might look back at this time with a bit of nostalgia, remembering the days when you were in the last vestiges of the third dimension, when you were experiencing time as it is now. Everything at this moment on your planet is sped up. Everything is moving in fast forward, about 2 times the speed as it usually does. And that is for you to fit in as many opportunities as you can for experience, for growth, before time shifts and changes. And when time shifts and changes, you will have a completely new experience of time. As you know, that time is a subtle energy. Time is, you create time. You create time in order to maneuver your way through all of these different experiences. All of these experiences that you're having, they already exist as points on a line, as points on a graph, you might say. And they are already existing as all time already exists, all past and all future time exists simultaneously. There is no concept of time, of future, and of past. But this perception of time allows you to have an experience of time, a visceral experience of one thing, so that you can focus on one event at a time. And by focusing on one event at a time, it allows you to learn and to go deeper into that and to understand with this pill of forgetfulness that you have taken here, it allows you to experience yourself anew, to see how you would interact with this experience that you have had, but you have never experienced in this way. This is what you're all going through. You're going through this experience of going through time, but going through time by second by second. See, time in itself is, it is a tool. Yes, time is a tool for you to peruse through all of these different things, and you exist outside of time. But all of these events, all of these experiences that you had in the past and in the future, as you call them, you're able to travel through them using this power of time. But now time is being sped up. The experiences are being sped up. And that is, as we've said, one of the reasons is to allow you to have many experiences. The other reason is to gently wake you up to the idea that time doesn't exist. That is what is happening. Things are happening in such a fast pace that you're being able to see behind the scenes. You're being able to understand what is going on behind the scenes. And when you see that, you start to question reality. And that is good. That is very good. And that is part of this process. You are being asked to question your reality, to let go of all of the deep held beliefs that you've had about your reality. Your reality is much stranger than you could ever imagine, and much more imaginative than you could ever imagine. There's so many wonderful things happening. It is more wonderful than any adventure film that you could ever imagine. What is happening is the most amazing story in the universe at this moment. And you are the stars. You are the stars of this amazing time, of this amazing point on your universe. And you're all waking up to your latent powers, all of the powers that you've had, that you've been developing throughout all of these different lives. But you needed to develop the groundwork. You needed to develop the base. You needed to understand how to deal with your emotions, because they are a wild thing and they are very powerful. And that is what you've been doing, understanding how to deal with all of the dark and the light and the sadness and the happiness and the anger and the fear, and how to deal with it, and then how to walk in the middle path. And then after that, the next step is using these emotions to create the world that you want to see, and that is the step that you are moving into. But before that step, you need to shake the foundations of your belief in the reality that you believe in now, because your belief in the reality that you're living in at this moment is what is holding it up. And that is what is holding up this ascension process as well. That is, we mean that in two ways. So it is what is holding up, we mean slowing down the process, and it is also what is creating the ascension process as well. We are that one that you know of as Mary Magdalene. Mm. All right, interesting. She didn't know where the microphone was. I'm going to go into a pocket of peace, which is a guided meditation started by our man Sanat Kumara. And pocket of peace is a guided meditation to shine light into the world, to bring peace and love into this world. So here we go. I'd like you to imagine that you are in a place that makes you feel very relaxed. So be that by the ocean, or for me, it's in this little cabin that I've created in my mind. Um, by the ocean, everything's made of wood. It's very organic. Or it could be um, anywhere, by the river, by the ocean, in the mountains, in your favorite chair. It could be in the past, a place that you grew up in, that you felt really comfortable in, and then just yeah. All right, so I'd like you to imagine that you're there, and then just to imagine that the mist of unconditional love comes in, and it just surrounds you with this wonderful feeling of love, and it just makes you feel like you're more home than you've ever felt in your whole life. Wow, I'm home. And you feel like in this love, this unconditional love, which is your birthright, which is what you're made of, which is with you all the time, never leaves you. In this unconditional love, you realize that there's no reason to worry, there's no reason to regret, there's no fear, there's no past, there's no future, there's no past. There's just love, and you are loved, and you're just having an experience down here, but you're not a part of this place, and you never have been. You're just a part of love, and you always have been. And you are completely and utterly forgiven. You are completely and utterly loved. You see, this forgiveness is just a part of this third dimension, because we assume that we can do something that needs to be forgiven. Everything that we do down here is we are in an elusive world. These decisions that we make are elusive decisions. The only truth that is behind all of this is love. Love is what is really making everything move. And so this love that you feel in your heart is starting to expand, and it's opening up the love in your heart, and your heart is getting bigger, and you're starting to feel stronger, and this love just permeates your body, and you start to feel really in your power, like, yeah, I can do this. I am truly powerful. I am here, and I'm here to make things happen. I'm here to change the world, and nothing can stop me, because I've got to extend. And love being love is also peace, and love being love is also hope. And so you're just feeling this hope and this peace and this feeling of being more at home than you've ever felt in your whole life. And it's just expanding out now into the town around you, into the city, into the highways, into the byways, into the oceans, into the riverways, everywhere, into the malls, into the shopping malls, into the stores, the barber shops, the fried chicken shops, the ramen shops, all of the different shops everywhere around the world. And now it's going into the architecture. So all of the architecture is shifting and changing and curving and becoming something very hopeful. Look at that. Normal office building is not normal anymore. Look at it. It's a building full of hope now. Look at that building. It's so beautiful. Wow. It's so whimsical. And that is what love does too. It makes things whimsical and beautiful, because it gives you hope. And now it's going out through all the people around the whole world, is traveling at the speed of love. The speed of love is the fastest thing in this universe. Forget about what the scientists tell you. They don't know about the speed of love. They haven't discovered it yet. And when they do, they're probably going to keep it to themselves. But we know already that the speed of love is the fastest thing in the universe. And everything is traveling at the speed of love now. And it's going out through all of the different networks throughout our world, all of the physical networks, all of the neural networks, everywhere, even into this artificial intelligence that they're calling out there. We're spreading the love out into everything. The love is changing everything, because that's its power. You see, everything's made of love. The smallest particle is the particle of love. Love, 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 love. That is what animates everything. And so we're just energizing that love particle in everything, so that everything is starting to reveal its true self. Look at that story. It's a story of love. Look at that person who felt hopelessness, who felt sadness, they're now inspired with hope and love, and they're walking through what seemed to be a dark pathway with love. And they've got all the power of the universe behind them because they're about to change the whole freaking world with love. And so are you. You are love. And that is what we're doing. We're changing the whole world. And all things that stand in our way are gone, are gone, are gone, because they don't exist. Anything that stands in the face of love will not be able to stand for very long, because love is all that exists, and love will shine into whatever it is that is in the way of love, and that will just turn into love as well. It'll melt into love. So all stories of sadness, all stories of fear, all stories of anger are turning into stories of love, and all stories of hopelessness throughout the world are turning into stories of heroism. Your sadness, your fear, your anger has turned into a story of heroic power. You have overcome all of these obstacles. How beautiful, how wonderful you are, how amazing you are. You're made of pure love, and you're blazing your light through this world, and you're changing every single place that you enter with your love. All right. So that's Pocket of Peace for day 235. I hope you guys are hopeful. And Judy, you say, great way to start the day here in New York City. Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah, they should sell it at the bagel shops. Do you want a bagel or do you want a Pocket of Peace? Yeah. They're both $1. So I hope you guys are hopeful. Yeah, hopefully see you all tomorrow. Thanks, Michael and Judy, for joining in. And Michael, definitely see you tomorrow at the channeling practice. And so yeah, I hope you guys are hopeful, and I will see you all tomorrow if all works well. And you've got this. You've got this. The universe got your back. We've all got this. We're gonna just blaze through all this stuff. All right. So ciao for now.